cluster feeding. Why does it happen and what do we do about it? We're going to talk about cluster feeding in 3 different stages and then also discuss the sort of ways to manage or handle it. So why does cluster feeding happen? It happens for various reasons at different times of life. So in the first 24 to 40 hours and even up to the first 5 days of life, the baby is trying to bring in your milk or transition your milk to the mature milk. So our milk starts off with colostrum, which is that honey yellow kind of thick milk that is high in immunoglobulins and just a very small amount. And then it transitions to the mature milk after about 3 to 5 days or so. It starts to make that transition and it looks more like that milky sort of color and texture that we consider as what regular milk looks like. In those first several days, the baby is trying to bring in or transition that milk. So it is going to tell your body to do that. In order to tell your body to do that, you need to have that suckling happen at the breast. So they are going to be doing that frequently. And the other thing is that the colostrum is such a low and tiny amount, teeny tiny droplets. The baby continues to want to feed. So it's going to, take those tiny droplets in very frequently over the 24-hour period. So it's not, sort of fuller amounts that they get sort of a full belly. It's just these tiny amounts that they get frequently in that time frame. So this is where we can talk about the second night syndrome, where the baby is very sleepy in those first 24 to 36 hours or so. And then that second night, they are awake, they wake up. They have sort of recovered from birth themselves, and now they've got their days and nights confused because at nighttime they're usually awake when they were inside the womb because that's a time that is sort of still, and I'm sure you felt them moving around quite frequently. But then during the day, they're getting, bounced around and sort of swayed and soothed that way, so they would sleep during the day. So it takes a while for them to sort of make that transition. They're going to be, again, on and off the breast. They're going to be sleeping and feeding, sleeping, feeding, what can feel like every half hour for the whole night. So then we move into, as the milk transitions to the mature milk, then what they're going to be doing is in that evening time, they're going to be telling your body to make more milk for the next day. So for those first 6 weeks or so, in the evening, they're going to be cluster feeding again, because again, they're telling your body to make more milk for the following day. So then you can continue to ramp up your production until you have the full production around 4 to 6 weeks or so. So they're going to be doing that. They're going to be telling your body to make more milk. And the other thing that happens in the evening is that in the evenings, there is less milk, less of an amount of milk being made. So they are going to be a little bit more hungry. They're going to have less of a full belly in that evening. So they're going to be, again, feeding more frequently. And then we move into around that 6-week time, which again, refer to our last video when we talked about the 6-week fussies. But this is a time when babies are more alert, they're processing more information, and in the evening then they're going to be cluster feeding or cluster suckling to try to process their day. So they're going to be on and off the breast again, mainly because they're trying to complete their stress cycle. And I've also seen when parents have even a high amount of milk production, and babies are getting frustrated at the breast because they're suckling, but they don't actually want milk. They're feeling full, so they're popping on and off because they're suckling but not wanting the milk, and the milk is coming, and then they're suckling again, and they're kind of on and off. So it's an extremely frustrating time for parents because they're trying to figure out, how to help this baby, but then also have some time and not feel sort of touched out. So what can we do? One is understand. So understand what's happening and why. That can kind of give some context and help with processing ourselves and how do we support our babies. The other thing that we can do is utilize our partners or support people. So this is a time when you know that you've fed the baby and you know that they have had a decent amount of suckling, then hand them off to a partner. Hand them off to a support person where then you can then take a break, go take a shower or a bath or a walk or eat or do something where the baby is not on you and you can kind of take a deep breath and reset and then come back to the baby later on. You're not starving the baby by doing that or disrupting the milk production by taking those breaks. It's important for your mental health. So that can be helpful as well. And then doing things yourself, like you can put the baby down. You don't have to hold the baby the whole time, even if they're fussy, it's okay. You can also try baby wearing. Baby wearing can be helpful in sort of allowing them to be connected with you and supported and feeling movement, but not having access to the breast. And really just reaching out for help. So utilizing your resources, utilizing support people, even maybe taking a bath with the baby, doing something else that then breaks up the feeling of just being sort of stuck in a chair and feeding that whole time can be helpful. Hope this helps. Please reach out if you have any questions or comments. Would love to be able to support you in Minnesota or nationally, as I said earlier, and I'll provide some links in the notes. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.